Hello, I'm Baldwin Burgess, and I'm here with Paul Forsyth. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm good, Baldwin. Good to see you again.
Likewise, good to see you. We are in Dubai at the Fund Forum Middle East 2013. Today is the Global Growth Summit. It's the first day of the event, and we focus specifically on emerging and frontier markets. And who else to be here than Paul? Because Paul, you're putting together a solution for investors to access these markets. Tell us a little bit about your project and where you stand with that now.
That's right. We are setting up in fact have set up a global frontier markets fund that is being managed by ourselves on a manager of manager or fund of funds multi-manager selection basis. So the objective is to look at all the frontier areas around the world, including the Gulf where we are today, and find the best investment professionals to handle client money in those markets. And we're trying to focus on publicly listed securities and be somewhat innovative to try and offer a solution that gives liquidity to our clients.
Right.
So we're just about to close our fund in the next few weeks, just before the year end.
Okay.
And we've been fortunate enough to secure some good seed capital.
All right.
So we're quite excited about the prospects, and being here in the UAE, talking to a number of the potential Gulf managers and other managers from around the world who've come to this conference.
So how many people will be managing, how many managers will you have in the strategy?
Well, we're looking at the world in terms of 8 core regions.
Okay.
So 8 to 10 core managers. Some of the bigger regions have more than one manager. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at Central America, the northern part of Central America, mm-hmm. Sub-Saharan Africa, which is obviously very big. In Europe, 3 managers covering the Baltics, the Balkans, and Central Europe. Okay. And as we move into this part of the world, we're looking at core managers who can give us GCC and regional exposure, but particularly UAE is what we're looking at the moment, and Iraq. Okay. And then we have Central Asia and parts of Southeast Asia, which are generally not accessible to international investors. Areas like Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, trying to get into those new markets.
Interesting. And so how much of an odyssey has that been to find managers, a local talent?
It's been amazing. We've used all the usual data services, if I can mention Bloomberg and Morningstar, which are typical services used by fund selectors. But we found as we've developed our project that more managers who've hidden their light under a bushel, if I can say that, have come to us with their product offering. So we've built our proprietary database where we've actually clearly defined managers in terms of if they cover an area like Asia, rather than say they're Asian managers, exactly what parts of Asia they're offering, and comparing managers, like managers with like managers. But it's been really challenging for some of the less public areas like Mongolia, Iraq, try to find managers who have been fairly discreet, let's say, in their marketing. But we found them, we think.
Oh, yeah, and I guess that involves a lot of traveling, meeting them, getting to know them.
Yeah, we
due diligence and all those kind of things.
It's the usual due diligence, I think, as well as looking at their investment processes, and they are rather limited in what they can do in some of these liquid markets. Right. It's taking a look at the businesses and the people, and in many cases looking at funds and managers that have a shorter track record than perhaps we'd be used to seeing in developed markets.
All right. Well, there's Paul Forsyth, known for being ahead of the curve. You've been ahead of the curve a few times in your career, and I remember when Paul came up with this idea, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was about 3 years ago when I started to hear you speak about this. Yeah. So it's really good to see that coming to fruition. So
finally got there.
Well, yeah, you know, that's it. It's like a marathon.
Absolutely.
It's all about those who can finish.
That's a long-term story. So if it took us longer than usual to get to the solution and the starting point, that's no problem.
But that's going to make it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
It's going to make it very hard to let go. So you're going to keep going for it.
No retirement in store yet.
Well, who wants that anyway?
Absolutely. What would I do?
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Baldwin.
Thank you very much.